Do you guys love throwing a square bill, but you are tired of losing fish? You keep looking at your reel, your line, your hooks, your baits, and thinking, what in the heck is going wrong? Well, I'll tell you what is more important than each and every one of those things, and it's the rod. You gotta have the right rod if you're gonna square bill fish. Guys, it's Brian with American Legacy. We're back with another Ultimate Rod Series installment, and today we are talking square bill rods. And this one is a great presentation. Everybody throws square bills. Everybody loves a good crankbait bite. And we're going to tell you today what you need to put more fish in the boat to make sure that you don't end up in heartbreak, losing a fish because you didn't have the right equipment. So we've got actually 4 options in front of us: under $150, under $300, and the ultimate rod of I don't care what it costs, just give me the best, and a bonus rod. So we've got these 4 lined up on the table for you. We also got a thought. This background is boring. We need to change this. So what can we do? And here's my thought. I think we need to get a fish tank back here. Maybe a nice American Legacy logo on the back, a little branding. Go that direction. My question is, and I want you to put in the comments, if we get a fish tank back here, what fish should we stock in it? I'm thinking we go the elusive Ohio River spotted bass, just for my own personal enjoyment because I love spotted bass and I am a spotted bass addict. So I would love to see that. What else should we put in it? What would be fun? Let us know in the comments. Tell us what we should do. Or should we even get a fish tank? Anyway, back on topic. We want a square bill rod. We want to put more fish in the boat. We have a certain set of criteria that we need to achieve, and those criteria are the following. Ideally, I'm looking in length for something 6'10" to 7'2". I want it to be short enough that if I'm roll casting, it's not a problem, but I want it to be long enough that whenever I hook a fish, I've still got some length to work with, that, it feels comfortable to me, and that length range just for most bass fishermen seems to kind of hit that sweet spot. So I want to make sure that I check that box. I want it to have a very soft tip, but I want it to have backbone. Now, we're talking about a square bill rod here. We're talking about throwing it possibly around cover. You may be roll casting it underneath some willow trees. You may be throwing it and bumping it off of stumps. You may be fishing it in a backwater area around cypress trees. This is not a flat-sided bait. This is not throwing a DT6 down a riprap bank or something like that. We're talking a true square bill rod here. So we want to make sure that we are getting a rod that does that to perfection. Now, I will tell you, if we were saying, I want to have one shallow crankbait rod, the options we would select would be different than these here. We would hit something that was a little more parabolic and kind of hit all 3 of those baits I just mentioned, like a flat-sided bait or a DT6, we'll call it, and a square bill. Not what we're talking about here. We're just talking about a highly specialized square bill rod. And so these are going to be tailor-made, in our opinion, for those presentations. So enough of that. Let's get started. First rod, under $150. We are going with the 6 Cents MFR series. We're going with the 6'10" medium moderate. And so this is definitely on the shorter end of the spectrum of what I would prefer, but it still hits that 6'10" criteria. Very, very, very soft tip. So what I need is that rod to load up whenever, again, if I'm making a roll cast in a shallow area, I need there to be a nice tip to it so it loads up really nicely. I need it to have some backbone so that if I'm around cover, that fish is not just going to be able to do whatever he pleases. We want to have some control over the fish. So the most important thing about this rod is that tip, though. Not only is it going to cast well, whenever a fish bites it, that tip is going to engage. It's going to allow them to inhale the bait. And then whenever they're shaking around and thrashing all over the place, you got a bait with 2 treble hooks. They love to throw the dadgum things. How about that for throwing dadgum in there? I'm sure Rob, the camera guy, will like that one. You need to have something that can absorb all of that. And this tip on this rod does an excellent job of that. So at $140, this rod is just fantastic. I think this is the second one we featured in this series. And just, again, $140, you get a lot of rod. You've got Fuji eyelets. comfortable reel seat, comfortable handle, lightweight. It just excellent series of rods. So this one, 6 cents, MFR series, 610 medium moderate. All right, under $300 price point. This one, the model may surprise some people, but the series will not. It is very well known in the industry that Dobyns has phenomenal crankbait rods, and so I've selected a Dobyns Champion XP for this presentation. This is the rod that for a long time I threw as my Squarebill rod. It's the DC 706 CB. A lot of people, I would assume, are probably thinking that I would go with a 704 or a 705 CB, but again, true Squarebill rod, we want that backbone. We kind of want a heavier action. And I should note, even though this 6 cents rod was a medium, it feels stiffer than that. Like there's a decent amount of backbone to that. Like I actually think that rod's kind of misrated. The backbone lends itself to more of a medium heavy in my opinion. It's what I would have labeled it as, but nonetheless, they call it a medium. So don't be thrown off by that. You know, that's still got some backbone to it. But I do want this medium heavy or heavy kind of feel, but it's all about the combination of the tip and the butt section together. So this 706 has a really nice soft tip. And in my opinion, I think the big difference between the 705 CB and the 706 CB, I think the tips are similar. The 706 just has a stiffer backbone to it. So again, I want that rod to load in a roll cast situation. When I hook a fish, I want to make sure that that tip is light enough to absorb whatever craziness it's got going on, but that it's got plenty of backbone, and this achieves both of those things. Nice full cork handle, very nice length. Again, I keep talking about roll casting, but if you get into that situation, you don't want a butt section that's too long. It's got to be comfortable. This one is perfect. Good hook keeper, $250 price point. Checks every box that you want in a Squarebill rod. Again, Fuji Alkanite guides. Excellent choice. This Dobyns Champion XP cannot be beat. Again, if I were picking one rod from this whole series, regardless of price, I'd probably just pick this one and be very happy and move on. So, speaking of moving on, we're going to go to the I don't care what it costs, just give me the best. And I've got a new, we have not done an arc rod yet, and I'm going to throw one in here. And it's going to be the Arc Reinforcer, the 7.2 medium heavy regular. So this is an awesome overall rod. You want to talk about versatility, this one hits it. Chatterbait rod, bladed jig rod. That's the same thing. I should call it a bladed jig and I call it a chatterbait rod. Bladed jig rod, perfect. Squarebill rod, perfect. Spinnerbait rod, excellent. Big walking topwater bait, sure. You can do a lot with this rod. This 7.2 medium heavy glass or medium heavy regular action, any of those rods, you've heard me talk about the Poison Adrena models that fit that same criteria. I just think those are incredibly versatile rods. And this Reinforcer is no exception. Has a lot of backbone. So this is more of a 2.5 size Squarebill rod, but man, does it have just the right amount of power in combination with a beautifully soft tip. I mean, the backbone comes into play fairly quick here, but that tip is really, really soft and it just lends itself to all kinds of goodness. And I cannot say enough about how much I really like the actions on this rod. And these arc rods are awesome. They've done a great job, and I really like a lot of the models that they've come out with. So comfortable reel seat again, good length on the butt section, lightweight, quality components, perfect. Love this rod. So check that out. Those are at a $350 price point. And then I threw one bonus one in here because it's just an excellent rod. Has a really, really good action. It's the Orochi X10, and this is the F4.5 611. So this model, very, very similar in action. We were actually comparing the Arc Reinforcer and this X10 before we turned the camera on. Really, really similar, just a few inches shorter. And the Megabass bling is just tough to beat. The build quality is exceptional, and that rod is fantastic if you're looking for a nice little Megabass option, and that one's at $400, so $399 on that price point. So you've really got four prices hit here. Like I said, best bang for the buck is the Champion XP in my opinion. Squarebill fishing's a blast, but I'm telling you, it's heartbreaking when you lose those fish. Don't lose them because you've got the wrong rod. Soft tip, but don't be afraid of a little backbone. It'll get you more fish in the boat, and you'll have more fun. Don't forget to like us. Don't forget to subscribe. And don't forget to tell us what fish to put in this make-believe aquarium that we're going to make a reality. Thank you guys for watching.